Well, I can tell you that just in the last couple of hours, the Israeli army has confirmed that 4 people were killed in fighting overnight. That brings the number of Israeli soldiers that have been killed since the start of the war to 101. 3 of them were killed in the fighting in Khan Yunis, and we know that there has been heavy fighting because Benjamin Netanyahu told us in and around Khan Yunis and Jabalia refugee camp, that's in the northern part of Gaza. There's also been intense fighting in the south. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu is aware of the international condemnation that has come, particularly from the United Nations, where all but 2 of the 15 members voted for a ceasefire. Britain, of course, abstained. The United States voted against. But he's also buoyed by the fact that just in the last couple of days, he's received $106 million worth of ammunition to help fuel the war. Now, people are saying that behind the scenes, the United States are putting pressure on Israel, but there's nothing overt about what the United States are saying. They're very much in lockstep, and Benjamin Netanyahu is encouraged by that level of support from his closest ally. Certainly, they've been talking about the possibility of this war extending for another 2 months at least. Benjamin Netanyahu says they have defined goals: the release of the captives, the destruction of Hamas, and also what he describes as the deradicalization of Gaza, and they will continue to work towards those goals. But by calling for Hamas to surrender, he's maybe hoping slightly that he can perhaps truncate this war, maybe bring it to a close sooner rather than later, because, as I say, he's aware of the huge international outrage, of the growing number of civilians that are being killed as Israel prosecutes this war by land, air and sea.
And Alan, senior Israeli officials have also wrapped up another late-night meeting. Do we know what's come out of those talks?
Yeah, a couple of big meetings in Jerusalem on Sunday. One of the meetings was of the socio-economic cabinet. Now, they're obviously discussing the economic situation in Israel at the moment because the economy has taken a massive hit because of the war. They were discussing whether or not to transfer taxes that have been gathered from Palestinian workers to the Palestinian Authority so that they can pay those workers, particularly those in the security services, so that they can continue to feed their family. The other question is about those who hold passes to allow them to work in Israel. No one has worked in Israel from the West Bank or Gaza for the last 3 months. Now, Bezalel Smotrich, who is the finance minister, dead set against both of those things. He's one of the ultra-nationalists in the Israeli cabinet. He doesn't want to see that happen. He thinks that that's a huge security risk. Benjamin Netanyahu, we're told, is in favour of both those measures, but the socio-economic cabinet couldn't make a decision. They deferred it to the security cabinet to make a final decision, and the security cabinet has decided not to make a decision at all. So for the time being, all those Palestinian workers who rely on their jobs in Israel, they won't be allowed to travel. They're seen as a security risk, and there'll be no transfer of funds to the Palestinian Authority for the moment either. Both of those issues, well, they're not going to make a decision on them right now.
Alan Fisher there for us in occupied East Jerusalem.
Make sure to subscribe to a channel to the latest news from RDZ World News.